But first, just a quick news blurb here. During the All-Star break, one of the newsier things that happened is that the Nets fired Jacque Vaughn as their head coach. He had taken over for Steve Nash early last season, had his interim tag removed about a year ago, got a 4-year contract extension, and did not see out the full first year of it. Finishes with a 71-68 record across 3 seasons in Brooklyn, including a stint as Kenny Atkinson's interim when Kenny Atkinson got fired. One playoff appearance, which was a 4-game sweep at the hands of the Sixers that I watched up close, and it was dreadful. But the main issue here, though, is that they went into the break at 21-33, out of the final play-in spot in the East, and they got absolutely drilled by 50 points by the Celtics in their last game. The Celtics didn't have Jaylen Brown or Al Horford. They barely played most of their main guys, and they got destroyed. So just generally, Patrick, what was your first reaction when you heard that Jacque Vaughn was on the way out in Brooklyn?
It's just kind of remarkable that the Nets post KG and Pierce blow up were in this just total hole, no draft picks, no real talent. And they managed to claw their way out of that way quicker than I think a lot of people expected, only to sign, 3 Hall of Famers and then end up in kind of the same place again now.
Yeah.
It's just amazing to speed run, into and out of, into, out of, and back into just total irrelevant. I mean, they're not totally irrelevant, but it's just wild that they are in.
They can see it from here. If they're not there, it's on the horizon, and the horizon is getting closer.
Yeah, I think if you were to sort of handicap who has the bleakest medium-term future in the NBA, it might be the Nets. I mean, everyone wants Mikal Bridges. At some point, Ben Simmons might score more than a hearty 999 triple single. But there's not a lot to like there. They have a lot of picks coming in that figure to be worse than their own picks, which are going out. And it's also kind of remarkable to see this, a devolution like this, come down to a single ignominious loss, that Bucks one where they rested all their guys after playing 2 minutes in the first quarter.
Yeah, that Sean Marks was very clear in the post-firing, elevation of Kevin Ollie to interim head coach press conference, saying I don't think we lost the season that day. I don't think we lost the guys that day. And then you go back and you look at the actual quote from Mikal Bridges. You're absolutely right. Mikal Bridges plays the first quarter of that game largely to keep his consecutive games Iron Man streak going, and then does not play after the first quarter of that game on December 27th. They sat Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, Nick Claxton, and Cam Johnson. And the argument was second night of a back-to-back, 5th game in 7 nights. There's travel in there. Guys are, redlining and we got to give them a rest. Mikal Bridges after the game just says, quote, "Didn't like the choice," and whatever that was, but it's whatever. Definitely not a fan. And then since that game, they've gone 6-18 with the 25th ranked offense in the league. And as you mentioned, they circling the drain off in terms of their standings. And the worse they get, the better the pick they hand the Houston Rockets is. So there's just not a lot of fun to be had there, especially the part where, it's become kind of a hobby horse or an easy thing to beat the Nets up about. The arena is kind of, there's a funereal vibe in the arena. Visiting teams' fans routinely out cheer the Nets fans. When the Knicks play there, it's basically a second home game. And that now seems to extend to Kyrie coming back from Dallas, or the Warriors coming into town, or anyone famous coming in to play at Barclays Center. It's kind of like an auxiliary home game in the way that people would talk about Atlanta being that kind of atmosphere too. But you sort of stack all these things up and it's well, what is there to be excited about? And to your point, yeah, the medium range future here is what can we get theoretically? If we don't want to trade Mikal Bridges, which is, as you mentioned, everyone wants him. There appears to be large numbers of offers on the table, including maybe down the line, his buddies from Villanova that all play in New York now. But if not that, it's well, our like-sized guys, Dorian Finney-Smith or Royce O'Neal's out the door, but, they have, other wings that can shoot and do stuff. And Cam Thomas as the inveterate gunner. That's a wonderful watch that appears to be extremely divisive among NBA people. What does it all amount to? And I think it's really fascinating that what's coming now, Kevin Ollie comes in, respected NBA vet, a dozen teams over a 13-year career, won the national title at UConn, coached at an overtime elite where the Thompson twins were coming up, all that kind of stuff. And his big thing was talking about, quote, energy generating behaviors. which I love just as a phrase and as a coaching point. Quote, I got something called EGBs, which is energy generating behaviors, and it's 17 behaviors of those things. And we went through the list extensively today. They have nothing to do with talent, but everything to do with heart and will. And I think that's what it comes down to. And I guess that's just the kind of thing that you have to sell, much like Jacque Vaughn did. Like, we have to play harder than everybody because we don't have as much talent as everybody. But if you brand it, maybe that gives you a little bit longer of a runway. Like, I'm interested to find out all 17 energy generating behaviors. I wonder if there's going to be sort of rubrics for who is generating energy more effectively than others. Like, maybe someone surprises you and it's like, well, actually, Noah Clowney is an EGB legend. Like, who knows what the advanced stats or the advanced metrics are on that? I don't know. What as you see, you talk the medium term future. In the short term future, what do you see for Brooklyn over the next 27, 28 games, whatever?
They're just going to have to decide basically how bad they're willing to be and how quickly they're willing to be bad. Because I mean, I guess the reason you don't trade Bridges is because you think that you can convince free agents to maybe want to come play with him. I know like the Donovan Mitchell situation is still sort of unresolved, and you know, Bridges is a good fit alongside anyone.
Yeah.
Which is why everyone wants to trade for him. I just think like, you know, if you're talking about, if you're doing 3-letter acronyms and talking about energy generating behaviors and sort of generally carrying yourself like a lower tier West Coast Conference coach, maybe the vibes will get good at some point. Like, we haven't really seen Dariq Whitehead. I know he came into the year with some injury stuff, and they do have a lot of young guys. Unclear how good they are. I'm just excited to watch Cam Thomas take 25 of the worst shots you've ever seen every game and somehow hit like 17 of them in a game or two. You know, will he go for 60? Will they lose by 50 in that game? Probably.
Well, that's the amazing thing where it's like, man, we got to find some structure and some form on offense. It's like, no, you don't, because the ball is going to find, I mean, whatever behaviors generate energy, the ball will find him where it needs to go. And then it might not go anywhere from there, but it's going to go at the hoop. And, you know, some nights that'll be a 50-point game and some nights it won't. But that, if nothing else, that's maybe something to keep an eye on for them down the stretch. Like if Cam Thomas is on your fantasy team, I think buy some stock. You know, you're in a you might be in a good position going forward. Maybe not in the other categories unless I guess maybe they add energy generating behaviors to like your standard 12 category league or whatever.
Yeah, it's interesting. We have to consider the thermodynamics here, right? Because the ball finds energy, and if you can generate that, then you can basically just generate the ball. And the ball don't lie / is life. And you can kind of just see how this is like a self-sustaining kind of perpetual motion machine style offense he's installing, which I think like there's a lot going here.
Did Kevin Ollie just reach fusion? Is that what happened? Like, did we find a clean renewable energy source with these behaviors?
And it's Ben Simmons. Yeah.
Right. Well, I guess it very much remains to be seen what kind of energy Ben Simmons generates over the next, couple of months, but, hope springs eternal, I suppose, for that.